What's up, YouTube? I'm the Villain Nerd, and over this past weekend, I just watched Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1, which was amazing. Can't wait to talk all about it. But even though it came out a year ago, I know a lot of people still haven't gotten around to watching it, so this will be a spoiler free review of the movie. And so I look forward to doing that. I won't be spoiling anything. So if you're on the fence about maybe I should watch it, maybe I shouldn't, this is the perfect video for you. And hopefully you can enjoy my thoughts and takes on this film. So let's get into it. And my initial thoughts on this movie is that it's just a really fun action adventure film. Now, it has its moments of seriousness, which are great and fantastic. But even with that, it still manages to inject some really good comedy. And it's not over the top, it's not overdone comedy. It happens just at the right place, just when we need a break, and it's just really good and fun. On top of all that, it has a very complex plot with a lot of characters that is juggling. And I'm just so impressed by this movie because even though it was complex, even though there were a lot of moving pieces, I, as an audience member, never felt lost. I always felt like I knew what was going on. I knew what the characters were after, what they were doing. And that's not to say that it was predictable. It's just to say that it made sense to me. It wasn't one of those movies that has so much going on that you can't follow it. And that's just what impressed me about Mission Impossible 7 is just that it's such a fun movie and it's such a big movie, and yet it's able to keep the audience engaged and to keep you following and tracking what's going on. And that's one of the best criticisms I can give for it, not in a bad way, but in a positive way. That's one of the best things I can say for the movie. Moving on, I want to talk about more of the specifics, but still, no spoilers, not going to spoil anything. Let's talk about our main guy, Ethan Hunt. He is fantastic. I just love the character of Ethan Hunt. I love how he is the goodest of secret agents. He consistently makes the right choice every single time. He puts others before himself, and I just love that. And it's really powerful to see his, really consistent and good morality placed up against a world of gray and of the such horrible acts of violence and evil and stuff, and yet he still has to make the right choice. He still chooses to be the best person he can be, and I love that. It makes him honestly a really true hero in a lot of ways, and someone that I look up to despite Mission Impossible being this spy movie. It's ironic that in a spy movie where people are backstabbing and lying and disguising all the time, that you find someone who's truly morally good. But that's what I get with Ethan Hunt, and this movie is no exception. That just continues the trend from literally every single Mission Impossible movie. So I love that. In a similar vein of thought, Ilsa Faust, his partner for the last couple of movies, it was also absolutely fantastic. I love Ilsa Faust. She is so cool. I love that they provided a love interest for him who is just as capable, just as much of a spy, just as cool. I really love Ilsa Faust. She's awesome, and she was awesome in this movie. So glad that she came back. So yeah. Moving on with the rest of his team, Benji is hilarious as always. Simon Pegg's comedic timing is just absolutely fantastic, and you can tell that his off-screen friendship with Tom Cruise really bleeds over into these movies because their bickering is just so hilarious, and I love that. And then you got Luther, who is he's just a solid rock. He's a beacon of hope and happiness and kindness and warmth, and he's just that kind of guy you want to be around at all times. And I love Luther. He was great in this movie as well. So, yep. Which brings me to the supporting characters, who all did a fantastic job. They were all excellently cast, and in the end, they all fulfilled their role really, really well. There were no weak performances that detracted from the movie, which with a cast this size is actually rather impressive. And I'm really happy that the movie just brought so many good actors and actresses together to create a really fun story. And so I love that. Even down to the extremely side characters, I liked all of them. They all just fulfilled their purpose really, really well and helped the story be the best that it could be, which was just great. So that was good. This in turn leads me to the main villain of the movie. And without spoiling who they are, I will simply say that they are quickly established to be very threatening and very capable, and that is awesome. Mission Impossible franchise is chock full of really good villains, and so it would be a daunting task if I was in the creator's shoes to create a new villain. But Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning absolutely knocks out of the park. Their new villain is so evil, so threatening, so intimidating. I love them. They do a fantastic job, and are every scene they're in, this villain just steals the show, and they do such a good job, and the actor does a fantastic job. So I love it. So good, so good. On top of that, what I like about this main villain is they bring a certain suave air that hasn't been seen in many other villains, and so I appreciate that extra flair they add to it. So to the character. So that's all I'll say about the villain. Love the villain. Moving on, I want to talk about the plot. Now, I've always referenced that it was complex and that it juggled a lot of characters very well, and those things are very true. But one of the things I also loved is how quickly the plot got underway. Now, I will say there was a bit of exposition dumping in the beginning, but the movie was shot in such a way that the exposition dumps were actually entertaining, they were fun, and even though, yeah, you were having a lot of information just kind of shoved down your throat, as soon as it's over, the rest of the movie just flows very naturally and very smoothly, and I just love it. And really, only like 15 minutes into the movie, we were in the middle of this exciting scene, right? And there were two main plots going on, both of which very exciting, very engaging. And then on top of that, there were like three or four interested parties that were crossing back and forth between the two plots. And it was just like we were on the edge of our seats, and we're only 15 minutes in and it's already this good. And it was so good, and it just continued that way for the rest of the movie. And man, oh man, did I love it. And I was along for the ride, and I love Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. It is so good. So, to finish out this review, I kind of want to address the question of, is it worth watching? We all know it's a part one. Is it okay? And to do that, I'm going to get into a little bit of spoilers. Now, I won't actually spoil what happens in the movie or anything like that, but I will spoil kind of how it ends, or at least the feelings of how it ends. So if that's too much spoilers for you, well, get out now. So there will be a little bit of spoilers, but it's really not that big of a deal, and it really does help address the question of, should I watch this movie, or should I just wait till the second one comes out and watch them back to back? That's the question I'm trying to answer right now. Again, just the barest amount of spoilers. If that's too much for you, all right, get out now. So, the question, should you watch this? Absolutely. Highly recommend it. You should absolutely watch it. And unlike a lot of part ones, it does not end on a big cliffhanger. There, that's the spoiler. It doesn't end on a cliffhanger. That's all you need to know. Like so many other movies, like Harry Potter 7 Part 1 or Avengers Infinity War end on this major cliffhanger of like Voldemort getting the Elder Wand or Thanos wiping out half of all existence. And you're just like, oh snap, what's going to happen? But this movie doesn't do that. So it provides a much more satisfying ending. And like you feel like, yeah, I can wait till the next one. Yes, there are still unresolved issues. Yes, there's still things that Ethan Hunt needs to do to save the day. But at the end of this movie, there's a satisfying conclusion, and that's something a lot of part ones can't do, and that's what I love about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and that's why it's so fantastic. The other big problem of part one movies is they fall into the trap of like Harry Potter 7 Part 1 or The Hobbit Part 2, The Desolation of Smaug, where both of those movies, they're good, they're fun, I like them, but like I will acknowledge that they're both kind of slow and boring, and you really only need to watch them so that it makes sense when you watch the exciting conclusion. But that is not the case here. This is a plenty exciting movie. This has plenty of action, plenty of key details and key things that happen and stuff. It is a great film that is fun even without the second movie. Like I absolutely 100% could see myself in the future watching this movie by itself without feeling like I need to watch the next one in order for it to be worth it. But I can't say that of Harry Potter 7 Part 1 or Harry Potter or The Hobbit 2, The Desolation of Smaug, So, in conclusion, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 does not feel like a lame duck movie, if that makes any sense. It absolutely has purpose, it absolutely is fun, and I highly recommend go seeing it. You will not be disappointed, and you also won't just be begging to watch the next one. You know, you'll want to see the next one because it'll be fun to see how the story concludes, but you won't be like on the edge of your seat waiting for it, you know? And I think that's fantastic, and I think Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is just killer, you know? 10 out of 10 if I did ratings, just so fantastic. So, love Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Hope you guys all get to go see it.